Okay, we are back. In this video, we're going to talk about ad copy. And it's really, really important because ad copy is related to quality score. We talked about that a while ago. In fact, let's just talk about it real quick, just to kind of level set on quality score. So remember, quality score has three major components: expected click-through rate, landing page experience, and then also ad relevance, right? And nobody knows exactly what the percentages are. This is like the best guess, because it's a formula or basically a Google secret. So nobody really knows, but through a lot of testing, we kind of have a pretty good idea of what the quality score is comprised of. In fact, within Google Ads itself, you can actually see the different columns that make up quality score. So you can monitor that over time. Right now, we're going to talk about ad relevance, because what Google wants from a quality search experience, is to be able to, when somebody does a search for something specific, that the ad actually answers that query. And then furthermore, the landing page is also reflective of that query itself, because that equates to a very quality search experience, right? And if you didn't have that, then somebody would bail out and not use Google at all. So it's really, really important that we structure the account for quality score, again, because the best, if you can get the quality scores pretty strong out the door, not really out the door, but it takes a while, right? But if you can get strong quality scores as quickly as possible, then you can really recognize lower CPCs over time. And again, you can be, because going back to this graphic here, you could actually be in the number one position and be paying less as somebody that's underneath you, because you've just taken the time to work on your quality score. So again, it's very relevant to ad copy. So let's jump into the Google Sheets document that we were working on earlier. We're going to take a look at the ad copy tab down here. Let's jump back over to look at the structure of what we were working on before, which was the keywords. So we have the hierarchy in place, right? We have campaign, ad group, and then we have our keywords. The campaign and ad group structure gets moved over, it gets mirrored on the ad copy side, right? Because that's exactly how Google Ads works. And let's jump in there just to level set again and go through so we can see what we're talking about here. All right, I'm going to do a duplicate of this tab, and what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to look at the structure of what we've built out so far, just so that we're on the same page. We are not going to create ads for every single ad group. That would take forever. I'm just going to create ads for a single ad group, and you would just replicate that for all of the other ad groups. Okay. So when we build out the ad copy, we are looking at, again, the thematic, whatever the theme is of the ad groups that we have developed at the keyword level, right? So this is what we're looking at. We're looking at the keyword build tab. And if you're not using a spreadsheet, you would just have to track this your own way. But we use this Google Sheets document because it makes it very easy to be able to manage this. So once we have our thematic ad groups, then we are building ad copy specifically for those ad groups. And again, that equates to higher quality scores. The reason that we do the thematic ad groups is for two reasons. Just to recap, the number one is quality scores, so you can write ad copy specific to those searches. And then the other reason is that you can control your bidding, right? So you can elevate certain keyword groups to whatever level it needs to be to control that page position and be able to show those ads at the right page position depending on how valuable the keywords are for your business. So those are the two reasons. Right now we're focusing more on ad relevancy, that one factor of quality score that's super important. And this allows us to be able to, again, create the ads for these thematically created ad groups. So as an example, we have like anxiety therapy. That would have its own ad copy that would talk specifically about anxiety therapy. As you move down and see all these different ad groups with their own themes, PTSD would have copy that talked specifically about PTSD. Et cetera, et cetera. So you can see how you can build ad copy that's very relevant to these searches and recognize over a pretty fast amount of time, you can recognize higher quality scores, right? So it's not going to happen right away, but it definitely accelerates the process, and you can get quality scores, in a pretty decent range within the first month, just because you've taken the time to construct your campaigns in a fashion that allows you to be able to create these thematic ad groups and then create the ad copy that matches the theme of those ad groups. So in this particular example, we're going to build ad copy for this distinct ad group right here called depression therapy. All right. So you can see campaign conditions, ad group depression therapy. These have all been preloaded per the last video. So now we are going to actually create the ad copy. So the ad copy is under this tab here. And again, you don't have to do it this way. We just find that it's easier to be able to implement through Google Sheets. But you can see the same structure, right? Campaign conditions, ad group depression therapy. And then we start building out the headlines. Now, there's two different ways that we do this. The first is the way I just described. So making sure that at least one or two of the headlines are relevant to the ad group theme, and that's going to get you the higher quality scores. But pretty much the rest of the ad, and now we have 15 different headlines, right? With the brand new, not so new anymore, but the new standard for ad copy within Google Ads. So we have 15 different headlines and 4 different descriptions. So we take the time when we build out these ads, especially the first ad, because a lot of it's replicated in the other ads. We take the time to go over to the destination website. Now, Sierra Tucson is not a client at all. I'm just pulling this randomly off the internet, but use this as an example of how we would build ad copy. And there's content on the landing page that we're also trying to match, again, for ad relevancy, right? So we have relevancy all the way from the query to the ad copy to the landing page. So we're looking on the landing page and just pulling, and this isn't the greatest landing page in the world, obviously. There's a lot of text and hardly any images, but still we're looking for little snippets that we can take and squeeze into those 30 characters that we have within the Google Ads ad copy, right? So I'm not going to go through this line by line because it's going to take a while, but you can see, there's different things that they say here, right? Personalized treatment, healthier life you deserve, comprehensive services, over 3 decades of success, expert staff, proven approach, take a free online assessment. There's a lot of content here that could be molded into ad copy as well. Especially if you have 15 different headlines that you'd like to test. Okay, so it's like for ad relevancy, we're pulling content off of the landing page, putting them into the ads, and this is what it looks like at the end of the day. So here's an example. So we have, again, scrolling over, campaign conditions, ad group depression therapy, headline depression therapy near me. So this, again, is matching up with the theme of that ad group, so depression therapy. And then headline 2 through 15 in this case are just different phrases pulled from the website. So personalized treatment. Here's another one that's kind of similar to that, depression treatment near me, best depression treatment, live a healthier life, where change begins, get back your life, call us, over 3 decades of success, expert staff and proven approach, holistic amenities. Again, all of this is coming from the landing page. To give us the better quality scores and be on point with, however they're communicating, however you would be communicating if you're running your ads and sending somebody to a landing page. So make sure that you're consistent as much as possible. Mental health treatment, accredited quality care, located in this case in beautiful Tucson, Arizona, residential and outpatient care, and then the descriptions, which were also pulled from the website. Okay, so this is usually how we build ads. Now, there are exceptions. If the landing page is not that great or there's no content, then we kind of have to build this stuff from scratch, right? So there's another way to go about that, which I'm going to explain as well. So let's pop back into the Google Ads account because this is a terrific tool. A lot of people don't know about it. It is called the Ad Preview and Diagnosis tool, and it allows you basically to transport yourself anywhere in the world, like here's a location, and then do different searches and see what the competitors are using. I'm not saying to copy anybody, but at least see what others are doing and make it even better. You can do a search in your own area. Again, in this case, this is Seattle, Washington. I just did a query for mental health depression help. I have device set to mobile, but I can also see what it would look like in desktop. It's going to make me refresh this page. So 1 second. Let me just reload. So there's really, people ask me, should I be using SEMrush? Using any of these other tools that allow me to be able to emulate searches and get search keyword ideas for PPC, I really see no reason for it because there's so much that's already built in Google Ads. You have the ad preview and diagnosis tool, so you can transport yourself anywhere and do searches and get ideas based off of what competitors are competitors in your area that are running ads, or anybody anywhere else in any other city. Just do a search and get the best ideas and start jotting these things down, and you can create your own ad copy. Again, not copying what you're seeing, but just noting what other people are using and making it even better, right? So that's another way of creating ad copy. You can jot this stuff down in a notepad. You can put it in a Google Sheets document. Again, we found that Google Sheets document keeps it very, very organized, and you're able to copy and paste keyword ideas over and over again, and maybe just change like headline 1 or headline 2 to match the theme of the ad group. And then we can very quickly create our ad copy. Where if we were doing this manually, it would take a long, long time, right? So here's another tip. Again, just go into the ad preview and diagnosis tool. This can be found under, let me just cancel that out, under tools and settings, and it is located right over here in the ad preview and diagnosis tool. Okay, so we've used 2 different tools so far in this build. We've used the keyword planner, and we've now used the ad preview and diagnosis tool. So this will allow you to be able to build out your ad copy, and eventually this whole sheet would be filled up. And I'm not going to do that now because it would take forever, but for every single ad group that we've created over in the keyword build, again, popping over there real quick, for every single ad group over here, you will also have, it will also receive its own ad copy. And that's why it's so important to be able to just use something like a Google Sheets document, because you can copy paste, and again, just change the headline 1 or maybe headline 1 and 2 to match the theme of that ad group. I think I've said that enough now, okay? But it's really, really important. So you end up with a whole bunch of ad copy for all of those ad groups. And what you do at that point is you import it into the Google Ads editor. Okay, so we're seeing the exact same ad copy now in the Google Ads editor. In this case, just for the depression therapy ad group, because that's all we had time to build out. But you can see, here we are. Okay, we have all those headlines that have been loaded into the Google Ads editor. Okay, now typically we would do this at the same time as the keywords. We wouldn't, in this particular exercise for these videos, I've done one, and then we talked about it. I loaded it and we talked about it. And then I'm doing the other and I'm talking about it. But typically we would do it at the same time. So we do the keywords and the ad copy in the Google Sheets document. We would import both the keywords and the ad copy into the Google Ads editor at the same time. We would then finish out the build by adding all of the ad assets. They used to be called extensions. And we would just complete the build right here. We would actually do all of the adjustments at the campaign level, set up the campaigns, how they need to be set up. Everything gets finalized here in the Google Ads editor, and then it gets pushed live to the account through post, and that's how we work Google Ads when we're implementing a brand new campaign, okay, and all the structure. Okay, so now that we've done the import or the export rather from the Google Ads editor into the actual Google Ads account, let's just look at it. Let's see what it looks like. So again, going back into the Google Ads editor, this was depression therapy, which lived in the conditions isolation campaign. So let's take a look at that. Okay, we have depression conditions isolation. Now we're going to go into depression therapy and see what that looks like. Depression therapy, where are you? Here you are. Okay. Oh, it shifted on me, so hopefully it's not going to click into the wrong one. There we go. Okay, so because this is an isolation account, or isolation campaign rather, we have the exact match keyword. And you can see that Google's already telling me, because I set the bids intentionally low, Google's already telling me again what the first bid should be, so we make adjustments. Okay, so again, we don't care so much about the first page bid, we care more about the top 1 to 4 position for the keywords that matter. So we would figure that out over time, which I covered in the past video. Let's look at ads. So we're going to take a look at ads in this depression therapy ad group, and you can see here's the 2 ads that we created. Okay, so one of the ads will, this is something I didn't mention earlier, but one of the ads will have a headline that is pinned in the #1 position, so it does not change at all, and that is the headline that matches the actual search query. And then we'll have another one that's just allowed to go, however. It won't be pinned at all. So you can pin your headlines in Google. In fact, let's look at that real quick. So we're going to look at the ad and all of the different headlines here as soon as it loads. And you're going to see the ability that you have to be able to pin these headlines. Now, you'll see number one is pinned and nothing else, right? Google does not like pin headlines, so the more you can not pin, I would say, would be the better. And again, it all depends on, it's all, at the end of the day, it's all about testing. So test it out and see what works for you. But generally speaking, what we do is, again, we do one that's pinned and then one that's not pinned. So those are the two different ads, and we just test and see which one performs better. Okay, so we have all of that ad copy that we looked at in the Google Sheets document that got moved into the Google Ads editor. And here you can see all of it here, right? So all 15 different headlines. Here are 2 descriptions. We have the ability of adding 4 descriptions, which I didn't do in this example, but you'll want to fill out as much as possible. Within the ad unit, also, you can add images now. So image extensions are part of the ad. Definitely add your images. I know it can be a pain, having to source images, but if you can do it, please do it. It'll just make your ad unit stand out above and beyond the competition. And then there's site links. These are just links to various sections of your website, so add those here as well. And then you're fine, right? Then you'll have your ad copy, and you'll be off to the races. So again, the reason that we do this, just going back, is because we need that ad copy to match the searches, right? So we're going to go all the way back to all campaigns and look at the campaigns. Conditions isolation again. So all of these ad groups are thematically created around very distinct keywords, and then you have the ad copy that matches those keywords. And that's how you get to the higher quality scores, right? So let's just go into depression therapy. Obviously this is not running because this is a test account, but if we go into columns, you can actually see where the quality score figures are. So here you have quality score, landing page experience, expected CTR, ad relevance. So everything we've been talking about is right here as a column, and over time you'll be able to see that performance. The numbers will start showing up in here, okay? So it's really, really a great way to be able to build those quality scores and control your bids and be able to show the right ad copy to the right person based off of their query. Makes sense, all right? Let's see here. So there you have it. I mean, you have, we did the keywords, we did the ad copy, we built out the campaigns, all of the, the additional ad assets, everything was built out really in the Google Ads editor. You could do it in Google Ads itself. I just find it more cumbersome to do it. It just takes a lot longer. A lot of times Google Ads is slow, so it takes forever to load. Do yourself a favor and just learn how to use the Google Ads editor. It makes it a lot easier, especially if you're changing out ad copy. You can do like, find and replace on ad copy. It just makes it so much more efficient. You might have noticed when we're going through some of this training that there's another one called conditions exploration. So you remember from past slides, in past videos where I talked about, once we have been able to bring in quality conversions off of the isolation campaigns, and these are exact match campaigns. Once we're at like the 30 to 50, somewhere between 30 and 50 per month, we then take those winning keywords and create a brand new campaign and put those keywords in this new campaign called Exploration, which is target CPA with broad match. Now Google did change things around. You can't just do target CPA anymore. You have to pick maximize conversions and then put a target CPA value. So that's what I would recommend. When you create that campaign, it's going to ask you, what is the bid strategy? So you want to do maximize conversions. And then as a secondary offering, they will show like the target CPA value, and then put in whatever your target CPA is. And I think Google will actually guide you to that number. But you can see here in this particular exploration campaign, and I'm going to do one more bonus video that just talks about the setup of these particular campaigns, because I get a lot of questions about that. Well, how do you set up these campaigns? Because there's a lot of options here at the settings level for the campaigns, right? And a lot of questions are asked while you're setting up the campaigns. As soon as this loads, I'll just take you through it just really quickly, but I'm going to do a more detailed video. But you can see here, maximize conversions with the target CPA of $100, right? And I just picked that as a random example. I don't know what the actual target CPA is until we're actually running that exact match isolation campaign for a while. And the market will show us what that number actually is. And that's what we use to really inform this new campaign type exploration. And again, this is where the growth is, right? Because these particular exploration campaigns that use target CPA and maximize conversions, that's where Google is focusing on high buying intent, but it's not so much at the keyword level, right? So people can search, like I said before, in very strange ways, but they're showing high buying intent. Maybe they're on their mobile device, then they went over to their desktop. Maybe they're on competitive websites. They're showing all of these different intent signals, and you're able to tap into that through a campaign such as these exploration campaigns. Like, that's our title, by the way. That's not a Google official title, but we call them exploration because they do have a much wider net in terms of match types. So we're talking about broad match again. But it's being controlled. The guardrails are the target CPA and the maximized conversion portion that are configured here at the campaign level. I'm going to do a bonus video on that. We're going to talk about how to actually create these campaigns for the isolation exact match campaigns, and then also for the exploration campaigns that are coupled with maximized conversions and target CPA. That'll be the final bonus video in this series. You're almost done, so congratulations. You've gone through a lot of this stuff. And again, if you're finding value, please like or subscribe. We're new here, so we need subscribers. So I really, really appreciate that. And if this is too much for you, maybe you just want to run your practice, let us know, because we do this stuff all day long, right? So this is a specialty for us. We can build these campaigns profitably for you, so you're off to the races, okay? Thanks again. We'll see you in the next video.